good evening, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant evening, and what a surprise I have for you this evening. The little island of Gibraltar. Yep, this is a tiny island at the entrance to the Mediterranean, and this is an island which has really become quite unique, and it is a real indicator that everything that has been done to fight the outbreak, including inoculation, has been absolutely worthless. It has been a fool's errand, and you have been conned. And so why is Gibraltar so special? Because it is an island, it is isolated, and 100% of its residents have been inoculated. Every single person on the island of Gibraltar has been inoculated, and yet they have soaring cases of CV. How can that be? How can that possibly be? And it's like, but I saw a video the other day, and they mentioned a naval vessel, same thing, all the crew were inoculated, and there was a massive outbreak of CV. So that means that, the CDC's own study was absolutely correct, that masks do absolutely nothing to mitigate or prevent the spread of an airborne virus. Inoculations don't work, and social distancing does not work. Locking people down does not work. Destroying the economy does not work. Why are we doing, and why are we continuing to do this? Why are the rules and regulations becoming more stringent? And there are two other places, Israel and Singapore, also have high inoculation rates, and yet they have surging cases and deaths from CV. Ask yourself that. Anyway, let's just read this article, and I'll come back and I'll do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. And this from RT, most inoculated place on earth cancels Christmas. Now this is 16th of November 2021. And here we are in the sunny climes of Gibraltar, edge of the Mediterranean. Amid a surge of CV cases, Gibraltar has cancelled official Christmas events and strongly discouraged people from hosting private gatherings for 4 weeks. Gibraltar's entire eligible population is inoculated. The government of Gibraltar recently announced that the official Christmas parties, official receptions and similar gatherings have been cancelled, and advised the public to avoid social events and parties for the next 4 weeks. Outdoor spaces are recommended over indoor ones, touching and hugging is discouraged, and mask wearing is advised. Wasn't Einstein's definition of madness doing the same thing over and over again but expecting a different result? 18 months, folks. 18 months. Everything that has been recommended has been done, and it hasn't worked. Is that not evidence enough that we are on a fool's errand here? The drastic increase in the numbers of people testing positive for CV in recent days is a stark reminder that the virus is still very prevalent in our community, and that it is the responsibility of us all to take every reasonable precaution to protect ourselves and our loved ones, Health Minister Samantha Sacramento said. Are you kidding me? Who is this? Where do these health ministers come from? After all of these things, you still haven't figured it out that this is a flu, okay? We've had flus on this planet since time immemorial, and these people act like they're shocked, like we don't go through this every year, and that the same people who are at risk now weren't at risk last year or the year before that. Please, give me a break. Gibraltar, a tiny British overseas territory sharing a land border with Spain, has seen an average of 56 CV cases per day over the last 7 days, up from fewer than 10 per day in September. The rise in cases, described by the government as exponential, comes despite Gibraltar having the highest inoculation rate in the world. More than 118% of Gibraltar's population are fully inoculated against CV. Wow, that's pretty good. Wait a minute. With this figure stretching beyond 100% due to doses given to Spaniards who cross the border to work or visit the territory every day. Gibraltar's entire adult population has been fully inoculated since March, and masks are still required in shops and on public transport. Gibraltar is currently doling out booster doses to the over 40s, healthcare workers and other vulnerable groups, and administering inoculations to children aged between 5 and 12. Similarly well-inoculated countries have also reported surges in CV infections recently. Well, I never. In Singapore, where 94% of the eligible population have been inoculated, cases and deaths soared to record highs at the end of October and have since subsided slightly. In Ireland, where about 92% of the adult population is fully inoculated, cases of CV and deaths from the virus have roughly doubled since August. And let's not forget Israel, 20,000 cases a day and 50 deaths. Absolutely soaring. And again, they are another of the most inoculated countries on the face of the earth. So I ask you again, my friends, what will it take? What will it take for you to understand that these things are not going to work? The masks, the inoculations, nothing is going to work. If you have a comorbidity or two, you are at very high risk. If you don't, you're at very low risk. It's never been any different, and it never will be any different. The only thing is that you'll be carrying a passport that'll go from green to red every 6 months if you haven't had your booster, and all of the execs at Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson and Moderna can retire on huge salaries. Anyway, that's just my opinion, folks. So, as I've been trying to say all along, this is a ruse. This is the bait. This is the bait to get you to take on an ID, an app on your phone that basically will track you, will rule your life. It will tell you whether you can go or stop. It'll be dependent on the boosters, and they will be able to shut it down at a moment's notice. And they've tried to do this forever, like the last 30 or 40, in the 70s. In the UK, there was a national identification card was going to be brought out, and there was a complete uproar from the public, and it was put off. And the government would love to have everyone tagged and ID'd and followed, and so they can control every aspect of your life, so they can continue to live the way they live. It's funny, they don't want to be tracked and controlled. It's only for the cattle in this society. And but here we go. This is proof positive that none of the mitigations, none of the things that we've endured and suffered under for the last 18 months, none of the ongoing disaster of the collapsing of economies, the supply chain crises, the food crisis that is coming, the inflation, all of this was for naught. Well, I shouldn't say naught. Big Pharma is making billions and billions and billions of dollars, but mostly this is about getting you to buy into a national ID system that will control your life. Okay, and if you buy in, you're done for. You are absolutely done for. You will never get out. This, like I say, this is a trail of candy leading to the forest of death. You're going to be cooked up in the witch's cauldron. Can you actually say that anymore? Yes, you're going to be cooked up. You're going to be boiled like a frog. Battered, baked, fried, however you want to call it. But you are done, and we predicted this. We absolutely, all of us so-called tinfoil hat wearers and people who were concerned about the national ID, the use of an app to control people and their movements around the country, the loss of freedoms, the loss of rights, and the fact that the whole CV outbreak was a complete farce. It was nothing but a glorified flu. We get this every season. And you fell for it. well, not the people listening to this channel, I'm certain, but the people who are all buying in and getting their boosters, they fell for this hook, line and sinker. Anyway, I am glad that I found that article. I'm glad that it's coming out. I'm glad that people, and through the internet we can now share, we can jump the borders that they are trying to control with the media, you know, by giving each different country different stories, okay, different aspects of what's going on, so we can't get a full picture. And so again, this is one of the reasons why I share these videos from Canada, so that you can see what's going on here and related to what's happening in your country, and realize that this is a huge thing going on, and we are all going to be tagged and identified and patented. Okay, well, if you've enjoyed that, please like, comment and subscribe. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant evening, and we'll talk very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.